John Davidson here with Martyn Sadler, the editor of League Express, talking about the Super League Grand Final. Obviously, a very memorable one, Martyn.
It was a memorable final, John, and not just for the obvious reason, actually. I mean, obviously everybody talked about Ben Flower and that terrible incident in the second minute, and that's the thing that got all the publicity. But actually, it was a great event, wasn't it? Everybody who was there, I think, enjoyed it.
Fantastic atmosphere.
Everybody, perhaps apart from the Wigan fans, I suppose. It was a fantastic atmosphere, wasn't it? And it was interesting, I thought, because we'd seen the NRL Grand Final the week before, which clearly was a great atmosphere, absolutely incredibly noteworthy event. And of course, the real story in that game was Sam Burgess and that injury that happened to him right at the start of the game.
Yeah, by James Graham.
We had to try and match that, hadn't we? So Ben Flower obviously took it into his own hands.
Yeah.
To do that and to wallop poor old Lancer Hire, who paid the price for it. But no, I think it was great. I wrote in League Express this week that whoever thought of putting out all the flags, on all the seats, the red flags of St Helens and the white flags of Wigan. Bit ironic that Wigan got the white flags and they eventually lost the game. So, but it was I thought it led to a marvelous occasion. I thought everything about the occasion was tremendous. The pre-match entertainment I thought worked very well. The band James, that famous song of theirs, "Sit Down." Yeah. Everybody joined in that, didn't they? And then we had the game itself. Now the game itself, it wasn't the most skillful, brilliant exhibition of running open.
It was a very grinding affair, wasn't it?
It was a war of attrition, really,
yeah,
particularly from St Helens. St Helens could only play the game in one way. They had a conservative game plan. They had to try and grind Wigan's 12 men down. At one stage, I didn't think they were going to do it. I mean, Wigan obviously took a lead before half time, but when Sia Soliola scored his try, you knew they were back in it. They took the lead at that point. But I thought the crucial point in the game was that incredible tackle by Tommy Makers.
Yeah, it was
on Liam Farrell. Yeah, fabulous, wasn't it?
I think we're going to have to be credited the way the character they showed and the discipline to stay in that game for 70 minutes with 12 men. I mean, pulling off a win like that would have been a miracle. But then Saints, battling through, obviously losing her hire and having no halves and no playmakers, and managing to sort of tough out that win. Full credit to them.
I thought Wigan played extremely well, actually. In fact, I thought most of the creative play came from Wigan. They had fully functioning halfbacks, of course, so perhaps wasn't a great surprise. But there were one or two Saints players who I thought really excelled themselves. Makinson was the guy I voted for the Harry Sunderland Trophy.
Fantastic try, scored from the ball.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that was a great kick by Paul Wellens, wasn't it? I thought Paul Wellens was absolutely outstanding. I mean, Paul is a veteran now, but he certainly had one fantastic game in him, and that was it. And it was just amazing to see him at the end of the game. He looked so deliriously happy.
Yeah, he did.
Have you ever seen a player look happier than he did? And you couldn't help but feel really happy for him, to be perfectly honest. It must have been a wonderful feeling for him after all those defeats that he'd taken very much to heart in successive years. So a wonderful day for Saints, and I thought a wonderful day for Rugby League. And it's interesting, isn't it, that going back to the Ben Flower incident, more than 1 million people now on YouTube have seen that incident. Now we might say, gosh, that means it's bad for the game. But can we persuade those 1 million people to come and actually see?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was a terrible incident, obviously, but he's been given his ban of 13 weeks. I think 13 games. I think that's a fair result. Some people were talking about criminal charges, a year ban, even more. But we have seen foul play like this before. We don't want to see it in rugby league. But I think he's learned. He's cost. He's paid a heavy price, and will continue to do so for years to come, won't he?
That's right, and I think both clubs handled it well after the event. I think both clubs have been very conciliatory towards each other and towards Ben. Even Saints have said that they hope Ben comes out of this okay. Lancer Hire, I thought all credit to Lance. He was tremendous with what he said after the game. So I think in a curious way it was a terrible incident, but hopefully a lot of good will come out of it, and that's what we hope to see, and I'm sure we'll see.
Definitely. That's all from us.